My name is Matt McCarthy, and today I'm here to talk to the parents about the risk of their children playing sports at the high school level. Most of the time, parents probably think that the only risk that the child that could happen to them is just the risk of injury. That may not be the case. But injuries is going to actually be the first thing that I do discuss with you. There can be injuries from the practice level to the actual game that they are participating in. It could be something as simple as just tweaking an ankle, having a nice little cut or a bruise, or anything as severe as ACL tear or something like a concussion, where they could be out several weeks or even the entire length of their season. Um, with any kind of injury that occurs, there is injuries in practices or games, and either way, the parents need to be informed first. Like that has to be number one. The parents need to be aware of the injury because that way they need to if it's severe enough, they might take him to the hospital, him or her to the hospital, or if it's small enough, they still need to be aware just so they are aware that their child was hurt or in any kind of danger during practice whatsoever. The first thing is though, at my school, we only have five different sports. We have boys and girls basketball, we have baseball, softball, and then track. So the limiting, there's not a huge limit of full contact sports. Basketball is our main contact sport, so but with basketball, even there's still risk of many injuries. Most of them comes from rolling your ankle to maybe ACL, but there's still risk of concussions at playing basketball because it's still a contact sport and there's still chances to run into each other. Um, for outdoor sports, we have baseball and softball and track. Most of it could still be legs. Rolling an ankle, you can roll your ankle at any time, especially out on the baseball field. Our baseball field isn't in the greatest shape, so they could find a hole and just trip and fall right away on it. But first off, like whenever the injury occurs, if the coaches don't feel like they are able to come back and attend the practice, then obviously a parent needs to be called right away to make sure you get them to a hospital. And if the parent can't, maybe you or I, as a coach, or any of the other coaches on the staff could possibly bring them themselves as long as they get parent permission and the school allows it. Um, the school I'm at currently does not have an athletic trainer, so that's really tough for our school. If I was AD, which I hope to be at some point in time soon, I would try to push for that. I think every school deserves an athletic trainer just to make sure that for the safety of the kids. Because coaches, not all coaches know exactly the ins and outs of how to tape up a kid or just limit their injuries by stretching right or taping them up or whatever they need to do, or after the injury occurs, how to get them back into shape to be able to participate again. Um, so really, injuries can happen anywhere from daily basis, and but they can also there's many more risks such as the playing conditions. So for indoor sports, so basketball, which is what we have. So you have to make sure that the backboards are safe, the playing fields or the court is safe. You have to make sure it's not wet or at any time. You don't want people to slip and fall. I always make sure we have the basketballs picked up for every single drill we do. Make sure there's nothing even out on the floor because you don't want anybody to trip over anything during practice and fall and hurt themselves. There's also pads at the end of each wall to make sure that if they go past the basket, if they're running full speed or something, if they hit the wall, there's at least a pad there to help them out. The pad doesn't do all it can, but it provides a little bit of support for them. Now, out on the baseball field, there could be anything from just going from the dirt to the grass, or the field might be too wet to play on. The grass is slippery; they can trip and fall. So, baseball is a different story. It also it's outdoors, so there's lightning, thunder. You could get hit with a bat. I mean, there's so many different things that could occur. But so make sure the coaches, the coaching staff, the AD, all those people that are out there on the game, they need to be aware of their playing surface or their playing conditions. They need to be aware of what's around them. Make sure that each and every day when they step out for practice or they step out for a game that it's in top-notch safe shape. Make sure that there's no injuries that could occur just because of the playing conditions. Injuries are probably going to happen regardless, but you don't want them to happen because the area that they play on is unsafe. Because that could come down to the coaches or the AD. Besides playing conditions, we're also going to try to educate our coaches. It's going to be hard. at Max Creek, where I'm at right now, we don't have an, like I already said, we don't have an athletic director, so our coaches are the main people to go to. Now, mission make sure that we get um, first aid certified, or first aid tests or whatever at the beginning of each season. Um, this only helps out so much, though. I mean, you get to learn about everything, but some people don't pay attention to it to the full extent. So if I was the AD, like I said, I already plan to be at some point in time. If I was that, I would make sure that we also have a discussion, have a coaches meeting or something like that, bring them all together, make sure that we actually understand what we're supposed to be doing. Because you don't want any of your players getting hurt, because any minor injury can turn into a major one without proper care. Um, Also, we need to make sure that our coaches know that each teams need to be stretching, make sure everything that is. I mean, you just got to do everything you can to strengthen your little joints. Make everything as tip top as they can be. That way, to limit your injuries. Injuries are going to happen, but you don't want to limit. You want to limit them to make sure they are not major ones and just minor ones. So parents, today I'm coming to you not to, I'm not coming here to scare you. I'm telling you that injuries are going to happen. I mean, it is a risk, and that's what happens when you play a game. Uh, Injuries are inevitable. Everybody goes through it. Hopefully, sometimes they're just a roll of the ankle or a cut or something like that. But they are a risk, and we're going to try to make sure our coaches, our AD, that we all understand what we have to do to make sure our playing conditions are safe, and that way your child is as safe as possible. Thank you.